Prince Andrew has been stripped of all titles as he faces a civil lawsuit on sexual assault allegations. Buckingham Palace confirmed his duties have been revoked, effective immediately, and he will no longer be called His Royal Highness.
He had wanted to rebuild his reputation, but after years denying the accusations of abuse against him, today any prospect of a return to public life for the Duke of York is over. In a swift and short statement, Buckingham Palace said that with the Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York's military affiliations and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen. The Duke of York, it said, will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending this case as a private citizen.
Well, this is an unprecedented situation. The Duke of York, who is the Queen's second son, at one time he was second in line to the throne after his elder brother, the Prince of Wales, and for 20 years Andrew held that position. And this is very demeaning for him, but it was very necessary. Andrew knew that something had to be done, and the Queen knew that too.
It was becoming increasingly untenable for the Duke to hold on to his remaining royal roles. I spoke to dozens of organisations today that had links to the Duke. All of them were keen to distance themselves from him, but none of them were keen to speak on the record. I spoke to Grenadier Guards who said they felt embarrassed by the Duke's links to their regiment. Ultimately, though, it was the Queen who made the decision about his royal and military titles. Seen leaving his home in Windsor Great Park today, behind the scenes discussions with the royal family and advisers have been taking place, an uncomfortable balance for the Queen as mother and monarch. The decision means that the Duke of York will lose his patronages and affiliations to charities and organisations like NHS Trusts, the Royal Navy Officers Association and the Sick Kids Foundation. And he loses military titles, including Colonel of the Grenadier Guards and Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Irish Regiment. He will no longer be able to use His Royal Highness in an official capacity, but will remain as a Duke of York.
I certainly think it's the correct decision for Prince Andrew to give up his military honorary titles such as Deputy Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Lancers, because he's now in a situation where his integrity is in question and his reputation has been damaged so much that the soldiers, sailors and airmen and airwomen who are out on operations cannot be comfortable in toasting him as they might have to do at a dinner, or indeed if they had to look up to him and speak to him. The Army Board will be looking at this situation all the time with a view to, does he match the standards and the values of the armed forces in the 21st century? And I'm afraid he doesn't match that standard after what's happened in the last week.
The Duke of York spent 22 years in the Royal Navy and retained a number of honorary military titles, but he was dogged for years by his relationship with the late billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. And this was a decision to protect the royal family from a damaging distraction in the year of the Platinum Jubilee. The Duke has always denied the claims that he sexually abused Virginia Giuffre when she was a teenager. A source close to him said that this civil case was a marathon and not a sprint, and said the Duke will continue to defend himself. But today, a clear line has been drawn between the royal family and the Queen's second son. Ali Fortescue, Sky News.